All right, guys, I'm here, and I've got a guy I met a couple of weeks ago, Shake over here, Shake Money from the Blender. I was on his show, and I haven't been on a lot, I'm not like some of these other guys, but I've been on a decent amount, and there's some great stuff. But I had never had so much fun being on the Blender as I had. It's been I laughed, I felt relieved. It was just a good time. Shake's a good guy. He's a storyteller. He's chill, and he's a Dolphins fan for a long time. He's got some great tales to tell. I wish I'd recorded leading up to this, and I guess we'll try to hit some of it again. So we're gonna spend some time here with Shake. I'm really appreciative of meeting him. A class guy, a real stand-up guy, a guy I like, and I think he does a great job. And so, Shake, man, thanks for coming on, brother. I
Oh,
appreciate
thanks
it.
for having me, man. And first and foremost, let me thank a mutual viewer of ours, Cosa Nostra. Cosa Nostra. One day he asked me, he said, "Hey, man, would you ever have Curtis from Ace Per Head on?" And I was always meaning to do so. Once Cosa Nostra has been a supporter of mine, and he's been one
Same
of those
here.
guys that has watches a lot, not all, but watches a lot of episodes, and he'll hit the thumbs up button or he'll leave a comment. Damn, I wish I missed this episode. So I said, you know what, for him, I said, let me reach out to Ace Bread because, what I'm saying, and he's kind of like the reason what made this happen. So I appreciate you, Kosa.
Yeah, he's a great guy. I've been talking to him in the comments section for years, years, and I'm glad he did. That's why I like having people on. I like meeting other people. So this whole thing's about. I mean, there's nothing better, when you watch a football game and you're with people you like. I just like to talk and hang out with good people, and I definitely count you as one. So, Cosa Nostra, you're a good man. Thanks for getting us together. Too bad it took a while, but we're here now, man. So, Shake, you do it differently, man. You had some fun stuff. You had like this Dolphins flashcard Rorschach test, and I thought that was brilliant. I thought you have some great tales. So I want to start just get into it. Okay, so I'm gonna do what you did to me. I do this too, though.
Okay, okay,
Uh, how did you become a Dolphins fan? I think that's always fun. It's always nice. We
okay.
all have our own little memories.
So one back in the day, I was kind of like the anti-hero. I always grouped the anti-hero. So I was always rooting against. Like for instance, I went to Carroll City High. I always rooted for the rival school. I always hated. I always liked going against the grain. I was an anti-Dolphin fan when I first started, but and it wasn't until when Brian Cox did the double bird salute. It's like when I started really like, damn, who is this guy? I like this guy,
Yeah, me too, man. He's one of my favorites.
so thanks to Brian Cox, I became a Dolphin fan, and then and me and my brother-in-law we got closer because now we're rooting for the same team instead of just going at each other. You know what I mean?
And the thing too is you lived, which is crazy. You said like a couple of
Yeah,
blocks from the stadium.
yeah. So it was on the stadium is on 199th and 27th. I grew up on 47th and 199th off of that area. So literally, traffic was a nightmare on Sundays.
And so I mean, you're literally as close to the team as you could get, and it took you a little while to get there. But when you got there, what was the first season that you became a fan, and what do you remember most?
Well, the first season was actually, believe it or not, Don Shula's last year.
Yeah,
I remember when going to class and stealing the uh, teacher's newspaper and reading. Also, Jimmy Johnson. Actually, I take that back. Jimmy Johnson's first year was the one I started really doing the deep dive. I started reading into the articles, the Miami Herald. So whenever I see the teacher put his newspaper down, I'd sneak the sports section out and just start reading it. You know what I mean?
That's so funny. And
Yeah.
you had it on the. You're lucky because I didn't have that. I had only had the newspaper, but you had like the TV reports and you had like all those inside shows and stuff. You had a good deal, man. You had a good deal.
Yeah. Also, I remember mentioning to one of my last guests that remember back in the day when ESPN. So, for instance, they did an hour whatever, and they repeat the same program about 10 times throughout the day. So if the Dolphins were on at 5:45 and I missed it, okay, so it's 5:45 now. So at 10:35, I would mark my I would write a note down. Okay, 10:30. So it's 10:30. Yeah, I gotta go. I'm going. I'll switch to ESPN. Okay, there it is. There's the Dolphins.
Yeah, remember ESPN was good, man, back in the
Yeah,
day. How good! It's amazing how far they've fallen. They were so good back in the day. It
and it was
used to get,
unbiased too. You didn't have
yeah,
these hot takes,
yep,
and it wasn't about being first. It was about being right.
yep, yep. They were great back then. I missed that. I used to love it. I'd watch ESPN. I'd watch all the sports. They had such great personalities, and yeah, they were not biased and had agendas and stuff. Man, it's a long time ago. It's not the same anymore. So in your process as being a Dolphin fan, uh, give me a list of your favorite players. I mean, obviously '96 was kind of the tail end of Marino, but I'm sure you still saw a little bit of Marino. But who are your five top favorite players?
Okay, okay. I would go before we do. One thing I would say I noticed that ESPN and this happens with not just ESPN, with all sports shows and TikTok,
Mm.
Instagram, whatever. It's all about rage baiting nowadays,
Oh yeah, oh
and that's
yeah.
I'm not. I hate. That's one reason I like you. You don't rage bait.
I try not to.
You
Okay,
do, but I don't think you intentionally rage bait like these other guys do.
not a guy in rage, so sometimes it pours out.
But so okay, some of my favorite players, I would say one that comes to mind is definitely number 81, the tight end Randy McMichael.
Yeah, I mean, he was
Love
good,
Randy
man.
McMichael, the Bullfrog. I used to call him the Bullfrog because he looked like a
Yep,
bullfrog.
yep.
Randy McMichael from Georgia. Another player that stuck out to me was Chris Chambers.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I remember that era. Yep. He was a
Chris
good player.
Chambers.
Boy, he fell off for some reason. I don't know why. He was so
I
good
thought he
when
would have been good in San Diego.
he did. I didn't watch him over there. It just seemed like he disappeared.
Um,
He was so good though for a while.
let me see. Another player that really stuck out to me was I want to say Sam Madison and Patrick Surtain. I love those two guys.
They were amazing corners, man.
Yeah. Another one, I would say, what's his name? The original. You remember who? You remember? All right. Bonus question. Do you know who the original wore the 34 before Ricky Williams wore it?
No.
Travis Minor from FSU.
Yeah, I remember Travis Minor. You
He
like
had.
Travis Minor that much, man?
Yeah, I liked him. Yeah, he was pretty good. And listen, I'm a Florida Gator. He came from FSU, so
Oh,
I
that's
I'm
probably
not
why. You watch college
I like him.
football?
Yeah. I'm a big time Gator fan.
Then
I only watch Gator
there's
football.
obviously Brian Cox.
Yeah,
But you know what I
Brian Cox
like?
Jr.
You didn't
Brian
grab the
Cox
big
Jr.
names. You didn't grab the
Brian Cox
big
Jr.
names. I
went to
like that.
Florida, by the way.
What happened?
Brian Cox Jr. went to Florida.
Really? Yeah,
Yeah.
you're a big college guy. I see.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah, I
Gators.
like how you you didn't choose like the typical, like the Zach Thomas. That's what I would choose. And
Yeah.
look, Ricky and Brian Cox. That's cool. Who else?
Um. Let me see. I'm trying to think. Of course, obviously Mike Pouncey, former Gator,
Yeah, man, you're a
and
big college guy.
the two names that are, which I'm going to get their jerseys. They are near and dear to me. Had nothing to do. Two of my favorite Dolphins had nothing to do with their playing career, which is Kim Bokamper and Jim Mandich were
Oh
my two
yeah,
favorite. As a matter of fact, I kind of modeled my interviewing after Kim Bokamper.
yeah, he was good, man.
I
Holy
love
cow.
Kim Bokamper. I remember he used to do a show called The Audible, where he would go live on YouTube or on Facebook. He would go live and answer questions. And he always would pick one of my questions. He would butcher my name, but I was happy that he picked my questions. I didn't give it to him.
That is funny. That's so
My last
cool.
name is Felico. He would say Felicio. I'm like, no.
Whatever. Call me. Just don't call me late for dinner. Thanks for calling me, though. That's great. Yeah, I don't remember that. I don't remember that at all. I didn't really get into any of this stuff. Like, I would just watch the typical stuff from the games. It was only recently that I started even knowing that stuff was on YouTube. I mean, it was only I
Yeah,
was putting. I've been putting stuff on YouTube since like I know 10 years ago. I was just putting videos up, but I didn't know all this stuff. There's so much coverage out there.
so when he first started, I like him because the thing about Kid Mo Camper and Joe Rose are the only two guys
I like Joe Rose.
in the organization that has enough cachet to rip the Dolphins and get away with it.
Yep, and that's
Travis Crucial
crucial.
try to do with it. I'm sure he'll be in hot water.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But Kim Bokamper, he could rip the team and kind of get away with it because of his cachet.
But you need that, and that's the thing I think we missed. The difference between the ESPN days, the journalists had a lot more power. They weren't so beholden to these organizations, and there were people who literally were just trying to do their job, call balls and strikes, and the fans were more informed. But as the franchise got more powerful and became, like as you had said, this rage bait type stuff and emotionalism, we lost a lot of good coverage, man. A lot of good. I still remember you. I know you remember too, like the old Inside the NFL days. How they were all very cool, but they would take things down. They were honest. You learned so much from the show. You really don't have that stuff anymore. I think the fan base, it's hurting because it doesn't have those things. So yeah, that's a great point, man. Joe Rose, you sort of said like it was in this offseason about McDaniel and the tardiness and how he'd never seen it before. He really laid into it. So that's an important piece to the puzzle.
But I tell you what, one of my favorite, and you talk about Dolphin memories. One of my favorite Dolphin memories when I was living in Miami, what I would do was I would put down the TV volume and turn up Country Kiss FM 99 and listen to Jim Mandich do the I forgot who he was the color commentator, but I don't know who the play was. But I would listen to Jim. I could listen to Jim Mandich for hours.
That's
man.
so cool. That's so cool, man.
Jim Mandich was the man.
Yeah, we never had that as a New Yorker, I remember for a lot of years, I would have to go to the bar and get the NFL Network through the bar. You couldn't even have your house unless you had like a dish or something. Now I'm spoiled. I just put it on my computer.
Yeah.
Those are,
And one of the funny things, I'm gonna tell you, on Audible, right? He had Sam Madison as a co-host. He had John Kajimi, and he had Joe Rose as co-host. They like rotated, but he was the main host, Kim Bokamper. And I asked him one day. I said, "Hey, shout out to." I put in the comment section. Shout out to Jim Mandich, R.I.P. I said, "Can you please share me one of your favorite Jim Mandich stories?" So he said one day he was in Buffalo and they were in a hotel, right? And he said he gave the hotel guy when he was checking in. He goes, "Here's an extra $50. Give me a room without a view."
That's a good one, dude. That is a good one. See, that's what I'm saying. You got some great stories, man. Some real great stories. You were telling another one or two about before you were talking about Wayne Huizinga. Repeat that one. Yeah, Joe Robbie. Tell him about Joe Robbie's story first, and then Wayne Huizinga.
So I was telling you about when I growing up in Carol City. We were like I said down the street. So before the stadium was put, after the stadium was built, and right before the first Super Bowl was played, they planted palm trees all throughout 199th Street to make it beautify it. And man, I'll never forget watching. There was like a bunch of motorcycles drive by my house to go to the Super Bowl to perform at the halftime show. It was a good spectacle. It was the Cincinnati Bengals against the 49ers.
Wow.
That was the very first Super Bowl in Pro Player. I'm not pro player. Yeah, I was pro player at the time, but Joe Robbie Stadium.
Yeah.
So, as you know, as the
Yeah,
show
Joe,
has,
I hated. Did you hate that when Joe Robbie became pro player?
not really.
Not that
Listen,
bother you?
like I said, roles without the same, same name. You know what I'm saying? Listen,
Yeah.
as long as we win a Super Bowl, I
You
don't
don't
care
care.
what it's called. It could be freaking Pornhub for all I care. But
Could be coming soon. You never know.
by the way, Bang Bros tried to get Miami Arena, but obviously they didn't. The Heat. I don't know if you heard that or not, but they tried.
Nah.
They tried to name. They tried to bid for the Heat Arena. They're like, no, we're not giving you the fucking name.
Thank God, there's some still crazy lack of craziness going on. That's funny. And then also the Wayne Huizenga story, because I liked Wayne a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I liked Wayne a lot. I thought he was a good guy. And maybe not the best owner, but a good guy.
So in the blender, this is season 3. So season 1, I had a guy named Vic Coaster, good friend of mine, and he was telling me that his brother lost his life in the line of duty as a police officer. And so one of the requests that he had was to put the Miami Dolphins logo on his casket. So they had to uh, receive permission from the team before they were able to do that. So Vic reached out to the owner and let him know, hey, my brother, the story. And not only did they reach out to him to give him the approval, but they flew the whole family out there for a game to honor his brother in the
Wow.
Jumbotron.
Wow. That's great. I love seeing when like rich and powerful people do stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
If I had a lot of money, that's what I'd be doing, all that kind of stuff. You never spend it at all. That's good. I liked Wayne. I thought he was a real nice guy. I love Blockbuster. That's why I loved him a ton.
Yeah, he was
My mom and I always
Marlins.
walk down to the Blockbuster.
He owned the Marlins and the Panthers at one time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know how Ross has the School of Ross Business in Michigan? Well, he has the School of Wayne Huizenga Business in Nova, which
Wow.
coincidentally that's where their training facility was at one point, was in Nova University.
I didn't know that. I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that though. Wayne Huizenga owned 3 teams. He's one of the richest guys in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And then Blockbuster goes defunct because the technology dies out. It's crazy, man. It's like, how do you go from having it all, being on top, everything you got? I mean, sure, he's got still loads of money, but whoever thought that, it's like you've made billions on this thing, and then within 10, 15 years, it just evaporates, maybe 20. It's crazy. It's crazy.
But the difference between Wayne Huizenga and if you look at in the bigger picture, between Wayne Huizenga and Ross is at least Wayne Huizenga hired coaches with track records. Your Jimmy Johnsons, your Nick Sabans, your
Parcells.
You know what I mean? Versus now Ross is doing these new guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think Wayne Huizenga, even though he was sort of like I wouldn't say loser, but he wasn't a great owner. He was likable. I don't think Ross is very likable. I think Ross has stabbed a lot of people in the back. What do you think about that? What's your take on Ross? We'll get into some football talk now.
All right, Ross. Well, before I have one more, there's a cool story.
Break it out, brother.
So back in the day, I used to work as a suite runner for the Miami a suite runner at the stadium, at the Hard Rock Stadium. And so I would go there every morning at 5. We used to go there at 5:00 in the morning to prep. And what's crazy was at 6:00 in the morning, while the sun rising, you could see somebody run the whole stadium. Zach Thomas was there at 7:00 in the morning, running the stadium. That's how dedicated he was. But the Wayne Huizenga story was I was told by the lady, by his personal assistant, that when Wayne Huizenga first came in, he didn't greet nobody. He didn't say hi to nobody. The first thing he did was go to his frozen yogurt machine and make himself a frozen yogurt. After he had that, then he'd go and And but I tell you what, that owner suite was decked out. That owner suite is better than most people's houses. That thing has 2 stories. It's a 2-story suite. That's how it's like. It looks like a freaking mansion.
That's crazy. Can you imagine having that kind of opulence, man? That's insane.
Yeah,
That's insane. These people are so rich, it's mind blowing.
Yeah, him and the Seminoles are right next door. They had a similar one too. The suite right next to
Wow.
it.
I can't imagine
But, yeah.
that. I had a
So-
small
so-
fridge in my office at one point, and I thought I was on top of the universe, man. I don't got to walk to the refrigerator, man. I'm the king.
Oh yeah, I got a beer right in my office. But so no, as far as look, I think Ross is doing what he can, but at the same time, you know they're saying you got to go where your butter is being bred. Everybody know. Look, at the end of the day, this isn't Ross's main money, and we all know his money is in New York. That's why he like on game day you can see a helicopter land. That's Ross gets in there.
Didn't he have a house though in Miami too?
Yeah, I did. I seen a story on him too. He grew. Apparently, he grew up in. Remember Scarface?
Yeah,
Remember that hotel where that guy stuck his tongue out called Fountain Blue?
I think so.
Well,
Is that the way they chopped the guy up with the chainsaw?
No, that's where remember where Scarface says, "Hey, you want to see my friend he stuck his tongue out on the girl, and the girl slapped him." They were at a
I
pool
think so. Yeah, it's
It was
been a
called
while.
the
Yeah.
Fountain Blue. Apparently, he was a cabana boy in the Fountain Blue. when he was a
Wow,
kid.
that's impressive to go from that to a
Yeah,
billionaire.
yeah. So
I think
apparently
he's a
he had
bad guy. I don't think he's a bad guy at all.
No. I think he needs to be more involved on the day-to-day operations, because if you're not there every day, you got to take people's word for it. It's she say, he say, she say, instead of, you know what I'm saying. I was just, can you imagine if he was to do the same approach that he does to Miami, that he does with his main businesses? I don't think they will succeed.
Yeah, I don't know. I think my problem with him is that he tries to run it like a business,
Yeah,
and he's always had this separation of powers. And I don't know if he just got the sense for football. Like I think he tends to gravitate towards the Adam Gase, who's a little bit of the tougher version, the Queasies, the Mike McDaniels, and then he kind of gets repulsed by like the Parcells, the Flores, the Speranos. I just think he feels more comfortable with those like easy-going, mild-mannered corporate types, and I don't think that works in football. I really don't.
no.
So, but I don't know. I don't think he's a bad guy though, but he's
No.
made some bad decisions.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that, but at the same time, it's like this is a result-driven business, and he hasn't. I don't think he has had a playoff win since he's on the team. At least Izinga has a playoff win, which is not really much to brag about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
we've had it's amazing. I mean, you grew, you started watching in '96, so I started in '78, but it was like from '78 maybe to the end of the '90s or so. The Dolphins were a storied organization. We were always mentioned at the top of the charts, and now this last 20 plus years, it's like everything flipped. Like we're at the bottom. It's terrible, man. I'm so tired of it. I'm so tired of seeing fans. It's amazing. Certain fans have never seen even a playoff win.
Yeah.
They're so young, they've never seen a playoff win. That's crazy.
Well, that's the beauty of YouTube. One thing about YouTube, you could look up any game you want to, and if you want to see a playoff win, just look it up on YouTube, I guess.
Oh man. So let's get into it too, because I should have probably started with this, man. So you're not just you're not a fan. You got your own show, and you were telling me you got like tons of shows, man. The Blender is something you've been doing for 3 seasons, and that's your Dolphins kind of talk thing, which is really good. You guys should check it out. I enjoyed myself a ton. I think it's just really, I don't know, it's just very easy. It's very, you just feel like you're watching a guy talk, and you talk about stories, sometimes about football, sometimes they're not. And then really the hour blew by, but then you do all this other stuff. So give me the lowdown on all your stuff. man. I don't know how you
Well,
do it. You're almost my age, so I don't know how you keep up because this is not your main gig. You got a whole gig on the side of it.
Yeah, and I got my 8-hour gig too at work. You know what I'm saying?
That's
So,
crazy. What are you taking, man? I need some.
but I got a good wife.
There you go.
I'm sure you do too. So I mean
Yeah,
listen, that's the first
best.
thing.
Yeah,
Listen, I don't care what nobody says. When you got a good woman behind you, you the world is yours. Look at TD. Look at
1,000%.
Dudley Do Wrong. Look at Reason. They got
Yeah,
good women behind them.
TD too.
Yeah.
You know,
So
it was so crazy. The other night, I was supposed to pick her up with two of my kids, and she was running late, and I was like so tired. I'm like, she wasn't really late. I was wrong on my time, but I thought she was an hour late, and we live at the top of the mountains. I started getting worried. I'm like, I hope she's right. Yeah, she's right. I couldn't even imagine not having her and my kids. It was just, there would be nothing. Like she literally pulled me out from my like desolation and rage and took this screwed up dude and fixed them up. So 100% good woman is the best.
yeah, but see, one of the things I did is about in the blender is this is an off season show. Is number one to give because it's very hard to find topics during the off season. So something for people to watch, reminisce. You know what I'm saying? Why we became Dolphin fans in the first place, and I'll let you see if you could answer this. The can you see if you could come up with the 3 top reasons why people became Dolphin fans?
The 1970s wins when the perfect season, Dan Marino.
That's not one of them.
None of them? The colors of the uniform?
That's not the top 3.
What's the top 3?
You want to know? You try to guess.
I don't know. That was the reason Larry Zonka, the perfect season, then Dan Marino solidified it, not the color of uniforms. My family was into them.
Okay, so the top 3 reasons are: one is Dan Marino, so that's why I don't begrudge 2 years because hey, people came to the Dolphins because of Dan Marino, and there's people who came because of Tua. So
yeah,
hey, welcome to the family. 2, I had a Dolph Freaky. She's Allie. She was the fan of the year one year, and she became a fan because of her dad. And I know a lot of fans that were Dolphin fans because of their dad. You know, Dudley Do Wrong was a fan because of his dad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the third final reason is they're locals like me. I'm a
That's
local.
true. Yeah. I wasn't thinking I was thinking like a foreigner.
Mm-hmm. So that's pretty much. If I was in New York, I'd probably be a Giants fan.
Yeah. I probably would have had some Super Bowls. But like I said, in 78 though, man, the Dolphins are so hot to trot. The perfect season was all everywhere. My family was from Tampa, so.
Yeah, so that's pretty much like the top. But there's many other reasons why people became Dolphin fans, and I really enjoyed the stories on why they became Dolphin fans.
It's fun. Yeah.
And the second thing is, when I have somebody on, unless they say, "Oh, Ricky Williams, he came from Texas A&M." No, he came from Texas. That's the only time I correct you. But if you have an opinion on something or someone, I don't go, no, you're wrong. You shouldn't think that way. Yeah. No, I let people speak their mind, and I don't challenge them. I just listen. Hey, this is why do you feel this way? Why do I listen to the person and give me their rationale because, okay, now I see things differently from another perspective. It gives me I've gained through this show. I've gained so many different perspectives. So now I see the game from a huge landscape versus just coming in with just mine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, very wise, man. That's very wise. Yeah, that's the beauty of it. Some people like I was on TD Phins talk. I think maybe I'll get him on here sometime. People like, what are you going on at? I'm like, he's got important points. Even if I disagree with him, it's something to consider. And then there's plenty of things that I do agree with them. I'm not going to fixate on what I don't agree with. I'm not going to argue over it. Hey, have your opinion. As long as you're not calling me late for dinner or potato head, we're good, man. You know, it's football. Too many people get locked up in different opinions, and everyone's got to have the same vision. So I think that's really good. And that's the way I felt when I was on your show, man. I just felt like you made me laugh, man. You made me feel at ease. I think that's a huge asset to your show. One show. Now, what about the rest of the shows? You were telling me before, and I was like, I couldn't even keep them all in my mind.
Oh yeah, well I do a show called Insomnia with my man Crypto. We'll do a pre-record and we'll air it at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's for the late night hours because I do have insomnia.
It sucks. Sometimes
from time to time, I'll wake up and sometimes I'll watch my show and I'll go to sleep and then I'll wake up because I hear the outro. I'm like, well, oh shit, damn it, I fell asleep. But no, So what we do is we do pick'ems and we do the whole NFL. I do another one called the Smoke Lounge where I get a perspective of the other coach. You know what I'm saying? What does the other team have to say about us? You know?
Yeah, you was doing that thing before. You said you would cover like the lead up week and of like from McDermott's viewpoint, so you could get the opposition's viewpoint. I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah, nobody's been doing it, so everybody wants to. So I figured let's hear what the and two things I learned. Number one, I'm not disparaging, but our media. But damn, you realize how bad, what kind of dumb that our how can I put it this gently? I want to put this gently. how dumb our media asks questions they ask. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you notice, like, I want you to now. I'm going to do a homework assignment with you, right? During the football season, on a Wednesday press conference, how much they talk about the other team. They don't. They talk about the trials and tribulations, like little pointless stuff in our building. They don't care about the other opponent. You know, it's like, damn.
Soap opera time.
Why aren't we talking about the other team and why? So what is your plan to attack and this and that? You know what I'm saying?
No. Soap opera time, because that's what people want. They want the soap opera. Unfortunately, the NFL exploded like maybe 15 years or something ago, and like the casual fan came in, and so they try to appeal to them, you know, which is nothing wrong with it, but it's easier, you know, he's bad, he sucks. Oh, they hurt his feelings, and you know, whatever. I'm tired. I don't like that stuff, but I'm in the minority.
Yeah. And by the way, as you can see with this Hawaiian shirt, I'm a big I'm not
Tua fan.
I am a Tua fan.
Oh, bad man. So wasn't there a Noah show that you said you did too?
Which one?
I don't know, the one you were.
Oh yeah, and then of course my man Larry K.
Yeah.
Larry
People
K,
probably know that. He's popular.
Yeah, Larry K. We do a panel show and where we do a segment. It's called The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, where he'll play the literal theme song for the Good, the Bad, the Ugly, and I will give him the Good, the Bad, the Ugly. It's a fun show, and I do memes there too, NFL memes, funny memes. I'll bring up funny pictures, and we'll just laugh and talk about shit.
That's
and
cool.
Then we'll just talk
keeping
about
it light, keeping it smiles.
Yeah,
I gotta get some of that.
I have a tradition. I buy a bottle of sparkling, right, to commemorate the first win of the season, and I drink it on air.
That's cool. Let's hope you can crack it open week one, man. You think? Okay, here, last question. You think we win week one?
I hope so. I'm going to be there
on the road. You going to be there?
Yeah, I'm going to be there in Indianapolis.
Oh wow, man! I'm hoping Jones doesn't start. I think he makes it tougher.
See, here's what's, you know, people don't take into account that Jim Irsay died, and Jim Irsay was a beloved owner. Yeah. As a matter, so much so that I remember watching Tony Dungy. Tony Dungy is one of those honorable men that you see. You know what I'm saying? He's, you know what I'm saying? And he was 100%. Talking about how he wanted Jim Irsay. Jim Irsay was like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna stay out of your business, whatever. I'm gonna let you run the team. He goes, no. I want you to be there. I need your presence there. And he said, all right, sure enough, I did. And freaking Edric James had Irsay induct him into the Hall of Fame.
Wow.
So that should tell you right there. How often does a player have an owner induct somebody into the Hall of Fame? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe Jerry Jones, maybe, but
that's a great point. So you're thinking that they're going to be play tough week 1.
Yeah. So he was a beloved figurehead for Indianapolis. Not to mention he brought him a Super Bowl. So what's not to love?
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. I appreciate that, man. So Shake, give us the whole lowdown. You gave us a bunch of your shows. How else can we reach you, and how else we can catch you and to do your stuff?
Well, Shake Money 78 on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow me there. Also on the Phins tailgate and Fanatic Fury Fan. Those are the channels that I'm on. And like I said, I'm a low key guy. I'm not into rage baiting. I listen. I'm just here to have a good time. Drink me a wine or a rum or a brandy or a tequila
or a lot of stuff.
Or my favorite. I'm gonna show you my favorite wine. Stephen Ross.
Funny guy, dude. Funny guy. Funny guy. Funny guy. Yeah, so definitely, we got to keep working as the season goes on. I enjoy you, man. I just think you're a good guy. I think you're a legit guy, and you're a funny guy, man. You make me just relax, and I think that's your superpower. So I hope everybody's enjoyed Shake. Go check him out on the Blender and his 50,000 shows. I don't know. This guy's been doing it for 3 years. I got Ace per head and like Twitter. And you got like 50 shows, dude. And you got a real pro stuff going on with your live, man. I got to start catching up to you, man. So it's very.
And I enjoy the small interactions of people that I have. You know what I'm saying? It's very small, very intimate, where people could speak their mind, and and of course I got this guy named Michael K. He's the Bills fan. He trolls on every show I got.
You got to have those guys. He's good about it though, right?
Yeah, he is.
That's cool. I got some of those too.
Listen, I'm not ashamed to call him my friend. I'm not proud of it, but I'm not ashamed either.
I think it's fun. I think if you could, there's a way to like be a troll or just ball bust, but be a good guy. And as the other people. So I like that. It kind of, that's what you do at the bar. Every time you go to the bar, you would sit down with one friend like this team, another friend like this team, you bust each other's chops, and you eat your wings, you drink some beer, and you laugh, and you leave it with a good time, mostly.
Yeah, I always remind him that Buffalo still has 0 Super Bowls. And he's like,
Zero.
He said, that's all you have? He goes, that's all I need.
That's it, man. That's it. We got the perfect season still in the bank, far away. Galaxy long ago, whatever it is. Anyway, brother, I appreciate you coming on. I really do. Sure, I always enjoy my time with you. I hope everybody's enjoyed. Shake's a great guy. Check him out on whatever he does. Good person. You got to support them. So it's Curtis and Shake saying, be well, go Phins. Curtis and Shake out. Start building your own online sports book today by getting signed up with aceperhead.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.